Hello, it's Ben King. This is the 8th stanza of The Art of Peace. Let's begin. So, what's the sense, sight, sound, taste, touch, smell, that you're most aware of right now? It could be moving around. You could be just in the awareness of your senses. It doesn't have to be one in particular. If you're aware of one thing, expand out and become more aware of a multitude of things. If you're in a multitude of things, go ahead and come into awareness of one thing. From there, connect to your feet, pelvis, core, heart space, throat, top of the head, full breath. The last thing I did before starting this sit was check Facebook, and I saw someone present a video from Hillary Clinton, must have been back in the 80s. I didn't watch the video, but the video and the comment on the video apparently show Hillary Clinton in a speech where she contradicts some aspect of who she is now. And the comment in the video was, I want someone with bedrock principles. Bedrock principles. So, bedrock. The idea of a bedrock is one thing. The experience of bedrock is another. Idea is to be aware of both. That's the value. Being aware of both, watching the experience of the idea shifting and changing, and the experience of the sensation shifting and changing from the perspective of non-judgmental present tense awareness. So to create the bedrock environment, see if you can pay a little bit more attention to where your body is connected to something else. If you start with where your body is connected to air, see if you can bring it down. See if you can connect to temperature. So that's kind of the direct interaction between the outside world and your skin, temperature. Now from temperature, bring your awareness more into the kind of the innards of the body, kind of at the bone level. See if you can feel more sensation, more pressure at where your bones meet an outside surface. Like, where do your bones, can you feel your bones if you're sitting on a cushion? Or can you feel your bones pressing through the soft tissue, the flesh of your body, if you're sitting in like a chair that has some kind of firmness? I'm sitting on a wood bench, so the feeling of my hip bones, the bottom of my hip, the bottom of the triangle of my hip on either hip. The pressure right there is acute. I can feel it, and if I shift my body weight right, I can feel it more in the right. If I shift my body weight left, I can feel it more in the left, and I can bring my awareness to the center where they kind of help each other out in balance. I feel that pressure, that sense of security. It's a constant. It just maintains itself. Now next, notice your feet. So I'm going to teach from the perspective of the seated position. So if you're interested in training, go ahead and come to your seated position. And now I'm just going to start to pay more attention to my heels. And I'm just putting my awareness there, like a feather touch of awareness, nothing big. And then I'm going to start to press down into my heels the way, you'd kind of press a feather into a hard object. You don't want to do it too hard because the feather is delicate, so you're kind of starting to press down slowly. And the slowness of it affords me the attention to really focus on what parts of my musculature the energy is going through. You could even go far as to say what part of the soft tissue is the energy going through. Turn it up to like 5%. Now, if you're struggling here or this is uncomfortable, maybe reevaluate what 5% is for you. 5% effort through the body should be something done with ease. Now, I'm going to spiral my inner thighs down a little bit, spiral my knees in. Now, not in terms of pulling my knees together, but just spiraling the soft tissue like a barbershop pole spiraling in from all sides of your thigh. The thigh is turning into a barbershop pole, and everything as a whole is spiraling in. You might even need to move the flesh out of the way. From here, I'm going to set my core a little bit more sturdily and start to push more into the right kind of heel. Now I'm going to turn it up a little bit and turn it into the that's heavy. So I'm pressing down hard with my whole right foot, but my whole buttock is engaged. The bottom of my right leg is engaged. I'm soft on the left. I'm really pressing down hard in the right. I feel most of my foot, not just my heel. I feel the outside edge, the big toe mound. Now I'm going to turn that over to the left, soften in the right. Now the idea is you're able to interact with the sensational experience of your intention. And that experience is not overtaxing. It's not burdensome. You can do it with aplomb. Now I'm going to turn both up. So if you're still with me and you're pressing down into your feet, you've got energetic engagement. You might feel it as a sense of pressure through the buttocks, hamstrings. And there's an engorgement taking place through the calves and the feet. You're not really using your calves per se. Energy's moving through your calves, so your calves are relatively still. Really pressing down, but not squeezing the feet. Grounding is connecting to the energy of the earth, not just getting tight. All right, so the experience of bedrock, the experience of sturdy, solid, this is what shit is built upon. It's got to be sturdy. That idea is one thing, but now I'm going to practice the experience of being absolutely established and sturdy and just solid. So to do that, I'm going to do a grounding. So I've really practiced my ground, and now I'm going to start to turn it up. So as I press down into my feet, okay, I'm also engaging in my buttocks. For me, I think of a stream of spiraling energy moving along the bone. So it's wrapping. Everything's wrapping down. Now I'm going to turn it up by squeezing in my fists and pulling my elbows down. My shoulder blades are going to drop. I'm really engaged now. Now I'm engaged through the core. So I've got engagement at feet, pelvis, core, heart space, throat, top of the head. Oh, there it goes, core. Full breath. Now, you might be able to notice from the way I'm speaking that the pressure that's going through me is powerful. It's having a big impact on all my systems. Now, I feel very sturdy, very strong. But if I had to stay like this it'd break me down, and I'd be unsustainable. It's totally unsustainable. I cannot hold this. So I'm just gonna take a breath in and drop. So that for me is a simultaneous release of all the effort that was just into my body, in an attempt to create the opposite of all that firmness, all that compression that I put through my muscles, put through my soft tissue. Let that all go, and then interact with what has happened. So what has happened is my heart rate went up. I'm now watching it slow down. My temperature went up slightly. I also noticed in my senses the sun has risen about 15 degrees in the sky. I've got a south face, so my temperature is warmer because of that. I feel energized. The energy has a prickly sensation, and it's not just in a spot. There's just this general feel kind of throughout my center. For me right now, it's a little bit on my left side, that just feels poppy, ready. The energy of like a babbling brook, not the energy of rapids, like a babbling brook. Now as my breath came down to normal, or is coming down to normal, I still notice the leftover effects. So my experience right there with the intention of bedrock was to really facilitate in my body what the idea of bedrock really feels like. And in one sense, it felt really strong. Like I felt really, really solid. I felt powerful. It felt impressive to be able to put all that work through my soft tissue without clenching my jaw, without getting tense, without losing my edge at my extremities. So it felt good. I felt really strong. But I also felt very, very taxed. I felt very focused. I couldn't have held a conversation for very long. My breathing was full, but it was very constrained. Everything in my internal environment felt pressurized. The sensation of pressurization and the impulse to change was very, very present for me. I wasn't screaming. I could have held it for longer, but my body was ready to drop it. That was the experience. Now let's just finish up with breath practice. So check this out. We've done this one before. Inhale, get to the top of your breath and begin to hold it. Hold it. Feel your feet, pelvis, core. Hold it. Heart space, throat, top of the head. Breathe in. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Now still your breath completely. Shut off all movement. See if you can notice the sensation of your body telling you to exhale. It's going to build. For me, it builds at my diaphragm. There's this kind of like waves of sensation radiating out in all directions, and it's starting to take up more room in my awareness. Now it's moved into my throat, and so the pressure to breathe out is building. Shifted forward a little bit, that helps. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Now I'm going to do it. Notice the relief. Change in body. Feet, tailbone, belly button, heart, throat, top of the head. Full breath in. Now, once you're all full, breathe all the way down to the bottom and hold it at the bottom. Watch your tailbone position. feet, tailbone, belly button, heart, throat, top of it. Full breath. There's actually a lot to do down here, but I can't explain it and do it at the same time. Notice the body. Listen to it. Do it. Whew. Change in body. Notice the relief. All right, now I've asked you this question before I ask it, or before I read the 8th stanza in the Art of Peace. I'm going to ask it again. You've experienced the still edge of both your inhale and your exhale, the solid states of your inhale and exhale. You've experienced a more extreme edge, and you've experienced the release of that edge. Which experience held more value? Which experience was better? Is the inhale better than the exhale, or is the exhale better than the inhale? Now, from here, this is the 8th stanza. Life is growth. If we stop growing, technically and spiritually, we are as good as dead. The Art of Peace is a celebration of the bonding of heaven and earth and humankind. It is all that is true, good, and beautiful. King, out.